Australia's unemployment rate for the month of December will be released this Thursday, the outcome of which may impact the February 7 Reserve Bank meeting. Joining us now is Peter Switzer, founder of the Switzer Report. Pete, good morning and welcome to a new year on First Edition with me as the host anyway. I know you've been here before. I was back from holidays, but Pete, the news is tipped to be good.
It is good, Pete. It means that we are hitting 2023 with a full head of steam. We've created something like 480,000 jobs over 2022. And we do know there's a lot of negative stories out there for 2023. House prices falling by 20 to 30%, which I think is far too high. We know interest rates are probably still going to rise a bit more. And putting it all together, you expect the implications of the interest rate rises we saw starting from the middle of last year are eventually going to catch up, particularly when those people on fixed rate home loans come off it and have to start paying variable rates. But the fact that we have such great momentum and the job number on Thursday, they're expecting 22,500 new jobs. They created 64,000 in November, which was quite a shock. And the Bloomberg survey of what unemployment should do on Thursday is 3.4%. That's a 48-year low. So as I say, we're hitting 2023 with a full head of steam. And despite the fact I do think there will be definitely a pullback in the economy, we're going to do pretty well.
So what sort of a pullback are you expecting, Pete? I mean, since we spoke after the last RBA meeting, has your opinion on rates changed at all?
I think that we'll see one in February, and that will be the one that the RBA will use to look at how inflation is performing. Now, we're seeing the US, they're getting much better inflation results, and a very respected professor of business in the US, Jeremy Siegel, he thinks the Fed have actually got to the stage where they should stop raising interest rates. Now, all of this is actually going to help our RBA take the pressure off it as well. But we do need to see our inflation coming down, and the strong job number could keep the pressure on the fear that our inflation is going to maybe need 2 or 3 months before we start seeing real falls.
Yeah. I mean, the RBA is obviously going to look at spending over the Christmas period, but isn't that a false read? Because people are going to spend over Christmas anyway, and then it comes off?
Yeah, they'll be looking at the trend. And remember, before Christmas, you got this, the Black Friday sales, which never used to be in the data, but over the last 4 or 5 years, because of the internet and social platforms and things like that, it's become a far more significant implication for spending. So they'll look at the implications over November, December and January to work out how we're spending. But they do know lots of people who are spending now will stop come June or July when they roll off their fixed rates at 3%, even 2.9% for some.
All right, let's go to the stocks. It's been on a surge of late, Pete, but there is a global recession talk. So why are stocks rebounding with all of that said?
Yeah, so when you start looking at the reasons why, you got to remember that the US stock market was down over 20%. NASDAQ was over 30% down. So there's always a rebound year after big sell-off. So that's one sort of base reason for it. But you've also seen US inflation coming down faster than expected. You've also seen the good news that China's reopening, another plus for the world economy and particularly the Australian economy. And you've seen a stock like Amazon. It was up 12% last week, Pete. And that means that tech stocks are starting to be forgiven because they believe that interest rate rises are near the top. So I think putting it all together, we're going to see a tech rebound over the course of this year. The quality ones will come first, but that will underpin the US market going up. And when the US market goes up, it'll be very good for our stock market.
Okay, so all in all, Pete, you're expecting a pretty positive 2023 when it comes to the ASX?
Yep. Yeah, it could be a slow start in terms of looking at what's going on in terms of interest rates and whatever. But by this time next year, you'll be saying Switzer absolutely nailed it.
Well, we say that every year, don't I? I mean, I know I say that every year. You are our professor of business on First Edition, Peter Switzer.
Cheers, mate.